Welcome back to West Fork, friends. Those were a few scenes from our walk this afternoon. Little snow flurries today, but it was really nice. About 30 degrees out today. Here we are back for part 2 of the wood spirit walking stick. I think he looks more like a cartoon character than a wood spirit, but that's just the way I am. I took the stick up to the shop and put it on the sander and smoothed out the whole stick, smooth out some of the knots so they don't have any sharp edges. And today we're gonna give it a handle. Oh, I also removed a big knot that was right here where the handle's gonna go. I'm gonna have to whittle that down a little bit because I'm gonna make a grip there, and hopefully it won't be too much of a hassle carving past that knot. Anyway, I got it smoothed out real nice. We're going to give it a comfortable grip, and we're going to put a nice little cane tip on the end here, and a lanyard or a little wrist loop. So let's get started. Well, I made a couple marks here where I think my hand would fit, and made it a little generous so there's plenty of room there. And I'm gonna carry that mark all the way around. It doesn't have to be perfect. Well, we have a couple parallel lines there, and I'm just gonna reduce the diameter here, and I'm gonna taper that down from the line. Just taper it down a little bit. What I want to do is put a twine whipping around the handle, so I want to reduce the diameter so it won't stick out, so it won't be really large, any larger than the stick, so it'll kind of fit flush. So we're just gonna whittle this down until it looks good. Hoping I won't have too much trouble with this knot. Oh, spoke too soon. Okay, I got that tapered down on both sides, and I can tell by grabbing it that it's smaller in diameter. It feels a little bit too small, so by the time we wrap it with our whipping, it ought to be just right. So the next thing we have to do is give this thing a nice whipping grip. This is my favorite type of twine. It's called tarred marline, and it is a polished hemp, and it's saturated with pure Stockholm tar. It has this good earthy, smoky smell. But anyway, it makes excellent tinder. It's really strong. It makes a nice, comfortable grip for walking sticks. I'm going to make a grip from this. This tarred marline is the same stuff they use for sailing ships. It's a traditional type of twine. And I'm just gonna, I think I'll start wrapping down here at the bottom, about right. Yeah, it's gonna leave a little lump where these are, so I think I'm gonna put those on the front, just like this. Well, this is a little tricky, so I put a piece of tape there to hold that loop. And I think I'll go about 6 turns here. snug it up real good, and then pull this end to secure this. And the tape, it was quite helpful. That looks pretty good. That looks pretty good. I cut that off. Yeah, it's still okay. I get it on there nice and tight. Make a little cut. Now we just have to keep rolling this on there. So we're home free for a little while. Give it a little tug once in a while. There's not much stretch in this. I've switched hands now, so I got the stick in my right hand and I'm serving the twine with my left hand, and it seems to go a lot better that way. Now I changed my mind. It works better serving it with my right hand. I'm a little more coordinated right-handed. It's going on there pretty good. It's nice and tight. I'm also resting the end of the walking stick on the table on a piece of, on this canvas, so it's not just whipping around when I'm trying to work. This is exactly like building fishing rods. I use whipping to attach the eyelets and the, I don't know all the techniques they use, but it's got the same knots and the same way of serving out the thread. I had to cut this from the spool because it was twisting up, and I just guessed how much I was going to need. I think I guessed pretty well. Okay, so we're getting close. Getting close here. I'm gonna put this little, this is a loop of bank line number 15. It's a smaller than the marline twine that we're using. I'm just gonna slide that under right in here like that. So we can use that to pull our end through, and I'm going to take about 5 more wraps. Just one. Keep our loop exposed. Just 2. 3. I think I'm running out of space, so I'm just gonna give it a good tug. Got it nice and tight, and I'm gonna cut off this marline twine and tuck it right in that loop right there. Pull it tight. Got it wrapped in the same direction I had it. And now I'm going to take this antler, because I don't want to hurt my hand when I give this a pull. There we go. It did pop through, so I'm just going to pull that bitter end all the way through there. It'll be secure. All right. Get rid of the tape. Now we just have to trim it up very carefully. Cut the bitter end. Get rid of that. Perfect. There's a little tag end sticking out, but that's okay. That didn't turn out too bad. It's just the right size for my grip. One thing I like about tarred marline, it's the smell. It smells kind of like peat moss, but a little smoky. I love this stuff. But it is non-slip. It doesn't slip. It also feels warm in your hands. And it's a natural fiber. Another good thing about this stuff is an excellent tinder. If you're into bushcraft, you can take a piece of this and fuzz it up, and it'll catch a spark and ignite from a ferro rod. And so it's really good for survival purposes. I'm gonna put a woven wrist loop here made of marline too, so it'll match. That'll be the next thing to do. I've already drilled the holes out for it. I'm gonna weave a 3-strand weave, so it'll need a pretty good size hole to go through there. So anyway, he's coming along. Okay, to make the lanyard, I'll take 3 strands of this marline twine and attach them with an overhand knot. And I'm just going to fix them to my workbench here with a scratch awl. And I just do a 3-strand weave here just to make this a thicker rope. Just an over and under weave. This stuff's pretty strong. I think it's like 300 pounds tensile strength. 1 single strand. Pretty strong stuff. And I'll just keep going. I cut these pieces 36 inches long, so I'll have plenty. I probably won't need quite that much, but I just wanted to make sure I didn't cut them too short. Okay, I got all 3 feet. 3 feet's about right. Depends how long I want to keep that wrist loop. Anyway, I got the end of it taped up here, and I'm just gonna take and cut that off. So that's ready to go. And it's time to install it to our walking stick. And of course I'm going to install the wrist loop so that the wrist loop comes out the back side, so we can have our character facing forward to greet pedestrians on the trail. And I'm going to leave this plenty generous, but I'm also going to make it adjustable. I'm just going to make sure this is all flat as it comes out. And I'm going to tie a single fisherman's knot, which is adjustable. Just 2 opposing overhand loops. Single fisherman knot. So you're going to have 2 overhand loops. That will slide to adjust. Well darn, I missed recording that, but I cut the ends off 1 inch from the knot, and I'm just leaving these individual strands. At the end, we have an adjustable wrist loop. Nice woven adjustable wrist loop. can either just be used like this, just to prevent you from losing your stick, or for extra stability, you can put your hand up through the bottom, drape it over the top, and you can lean on the wrist loop. So it's a pretty sturdy little setup. Well, friends, all we got to do now is give this thing a rubber cane tip and we'll be good to go. There was a couple high spots on here, but I kind of carved it a little bit just to make sure our cane tip will fit on there. Another thing I want to do is just chamfer the edge of this so it's not sharp, so it won't cut through the rubber on the cane tip. And that's one thing you're going to want to do is, if you're going to build one of these, is to make sure you use a really good quality rubber cane tip, because there's a lot of cheap ones and they don't hold up too good, especially if you're stomping them in the ground as you hike. You'll want something that'll hold up. The best ones I've found so far are these heavy duty ones that I got from treelineusa.com. I'll give you a link in the description. I bought two different sizes. I got 1 1/8 here and then 1 inch. And that would pretty much cover most of the hiking sticks I make. On this one though, this is a little bit smaller, so 1 inch is going to fit it perfect. And I got lucky, I barely had to do any whittling at all. So yeah, these are a thicker rubber. They're more like a real, they feel like a rubber tire. They're super tough. And the inside, you won't be able to see that, but inside there are ridges that help keep this attached. So it will not come off there on its own if you whittle this to the right size. You should just have to stretch that on there a little bit to get it seated. It'll go in there quite a ways. And it's always best to put it on the floor. Give it a good push until you feel it bottom out. There you have it. Those are really high quality. Treeline USA. Well, there you go, friends. A nice little winter project, or even maybe a project in the summertime, sitting by the campfire. The old wood spirit hiking stick. It's always fun to go looking for sticks too. It's a good way to get into the outdoors. Try to find some good specimens for future projects. So we got the wood spirit carving done in video 1. In video 2, we got the hand grip, the wrist loop, and a good high quality cane tip. Well, that's about all the time we have today, friends. I hope you enjoyed the video. As always, thanks for stopping by West Fork. Feel welcome to subscribe and hit the like. Give me your comments. Let me know what you think. Until next time, God bless and happy trails.